The story of Jeanne Harb with the king of Saudi Arabia began as a fairy tale but turned into a nightmare. She has always claimed to have experienced betrayal from her husband and the Saudi royal family, which led her to exile, profound sadness, and even legal battles. March 2023 marked the 55th anniversary of her secret marriage to the prince who would eventually ascend to the throne of Saudi Arabia. But how did this Christian Palestinian woman become his wife? Why was she forced to undergo 3 abortions? What about her life now? Watch the full video to find out. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to get notified as I upload a new video. Let's go on. Jeanne Harb was born in Ramallah, Palestine, in 1947 to a Christian Arab family. The complex political situation in Palestine forced her to emigrate. She wanted to start a new life abroad and moved with her cousins to Saudi Arabia, living in a small house in Jeddah. There, she managed to work as an Arabic translator at the Venezuelan embassy. Jeanne could never have imagined what Fahd had in store for her in September 1967. An influential businessman organized the party that she attended, and there she would meet the then Prince Fahd. He was 45 years old, already married, and had 9 children from several wives. But when he saw that 20-year-old girl, who resembled Sophia Loren, he didn't hesitate to approach her. When Jeanne returned to her humble home in Jeddah, she was greeted by a black limousine parked in front of her house, where she was stunned by a gift from Prince Fahd, which he sent to her in an envelope containing an amount worth $20,000 and jewelry of turquoise and diamonds. A level of glamour she had never experienced before surrounded her life, and she loved it. The following day, Prince Fahd called Jeanne and invited her to have lunch together. Jeanne responded, "We don't have food in our house that would be suitable for a prince." Later, she was astonished when a convoy of 7 cars arrived, carrying a lavish feast consisting of various oriental dishes. It became evident that Prince Fahd held a deep admiration for Jeanne. He began visiting her residence frequently and spending time with her. As Jeanne mentioned, it was clear that he was a married man and a prince with authority and everything that could make a person happy. But he was alone. 2 months after their first meeting at the party, Fahd started traveling with Jeanne. During one of their trips to London, the prince confessed his love for her, and 6 weeks later, he proposed marriage. However, there was a significant problem for their wedding to proceed smoothly. Fahd knew that if he were to become king, he would take the title of Guardian of the Faith. His marriage to a non-Muslim woman would be unacceptable to the Saudis. Additionally, his first official wife should not be humiliated by his new marriage. King Fahd sent an invitation to George Harb, Jeanne's father, to come to Jeddah and offer him to marry his daughter, on the condition that the marriage remains secret and that Jeanne must declare her conversion to Islam, and that he will not have children from her, and she agreed to his conditions, thinking that he may change his mind later and that he would be satisfied with her having children. Jeanne said, "Our marriage ceremony was limited to a sheikh and 3 witnesses, one of whom was a prince from the House of Saud, and a small dinner party attended by 6 of my friends." This is how Jeanne described her wedding ceremony. They enjoyed months of happiness, surrounded by luxury and deeply in love. She stated that the family members and the king's wife were aware of their marriage. She said, "The king asked me not to expose this secret marriage to anyone, and that he would guarantee me that I would not meet his wife anywhere." The king of Saudi Arabia was adamant that he would not have children with Jeanne, and as a result, she was forced to have 3 abortions. Jeanne longed to become a mother, but Fahd refused to have a child with her. That's when the problems began. Alongside this, Jeanne's presence in the palace became increasingly uncomfortable and disturbing for Fahd's family, until in late 1970, his brother ordered her to leave within 2 hours, for reasons that Jeanne refused to say, except that she described them as unfair. Her clothes were later sent to the Saudi embassy in Beirut, and her jewelry, pictures, and marriage certificate were all kept. At that moment, she was utterly devastated. She went to the United States, far from her Palestinian family and far from that dreamlike palace, without the protection of her husband, who agreed to her departure for reasons she didn't clarify. Contact with Fahd did not disappear. In the years following her abrupt departure from the palace, she and the future king of Saudi Arabia met several times. But there was no going back, and in 1974, Jennan informed Fahd of her desire to marry a Christian lawyer in Beirut. According to her explanation, her marriage to Fahd was consolidated through an Islamic ceremony that remains valid under Sharia law, as there was never a divorce. On the other hand, her marriage to the lawyer was a civil wedding. Thus, her marriage lasted 5 years, and they had 2 daughters who received the best education in Europe thanks to Fahd's financial contributions. He continued to support her as they had agreed, even if they grew apart. But this support ended in 2005 when he stopped sending her money. However, before that happened, in 1995, King Fahd suffered a stroke from which he never fully recovered until he died in 2005 at the age of 82. According to reports, Jennan always promised never to forget him, and he promised her that she would never lack financial support. On June 20, 2003, it was claimed that she met with Prince Abdulaziz, son of King Fahd, at the luxurious Dorchester Hotel in London. They agreed that he would pay her £12 million and give her 2 apartments in Chelsea, each valued at £5 million, to fulfill a promise made by his father Fahd. However, that payment never happened, and the royal family denied the meeting. As a result, Jennan decided to file a lawsuit to claim what she believed was rightfully hers from her in-laws. She defended her right to receive benefits from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia because she was still married to Fahd when she was promised lifelong financial support. She also claimed that during their marriage, she'd helped him with many of his business ventures. This legal battle lasted for years until 2015, where the Supreme Court ordered Prince Abdulaziz, the son of King Fahd, to pay Jennan a compensation of £15 million and hand over the 2 luxury apartments in Chelsea. However, Prince Abdulaziz decided to appeal the court's decision, and the previous judgment was overturned. With a card always up her sleeve, which is to expose all the secrets of life within the palace, she threatened to reveal them if she didn't get paid. Jennan claimed in the British courts in 2006 that she married King Fahd of Saudi Arabia in 1968, when he was a prince and the interior minister. But she was forced to leave the country several years before he ascended to the throne. Therefore, she believed she was entitled to compensation exceeding $22 million. Fahd's favorite son, Abdulaziz, argued that he had state immunity, and the court had no jurisdiction to adjudicate Jennan's claim. However, the ruling stated that it did have jurisdiction, opening the way for a full hearing. Unfortunately, that fairy tale turned into a nightmare. She was confined within the walls of a mansion in Riyadh and forbidden to have children. She became pregnant, but ultimately did not have the baby. Jennan eventually had 2 daughters, got married, and divorced. She is currently a member of the Church of Scientology and lives in England, still seeking her financial security rights, stemming from that broken promise of a king who loved and later abandoned her. Do you believe that she is the one to blame for accepting the role of being the secret wife of a Saudi king? And that's it. If you enjoyed the video and want more like it, be sure to leave a thumbs up below in appreciation. And if you haven't already, you really want to subscribe to my channel and tick the bell icon so you get notified as I upload a new video every week. See you in the next video.